When I first met Clara, I thought she was an angel. After my hip surgery, I couldn't move much. My daughter lived out of state, and the house felt cold, empty, and too quiet. Then came Clara, a young, warm, talkative nurse with soft brown eyes and a smile that could melt walls. She called me Miss Evelyn, even though I told her to call me Eve. She brought tea, fixed my pillows, and told me stories about her childhood. For the first time in months, I didn't feel like a burden, but angels don't usually wear diamond earrings that weren't theirs. It started small. One day my silver hairpin disappeared. I thought maybe it fell behind the dresser. Then an old watch, a gift from my late husband, went missing. I looked everywhere. I even checked my memory pills. Maybe I was just being forgetful again, but no. When my wedding ring vanished, I knew something was wrong. Clara would hum softly while dusting the shelves, but now, every time she walked by my jewellery box, I noticed her eyes flicker. Just a second too long, a sparkle of temptation, so I decided not to confront her. Not yet. You see, my late husband always told me, "Never fight anger with anger, Eve. Fight it with patience and a plan." So I started watching. Every morning, I'd sit quietly in my armchair pretending to nap. Clara would clean, check my vitals, make lunch. But when she thought I was asleep, she'd move differently, quietly, carefully. One day, I saw it. Her reflection in the mirror, her hand inside my jewellery box, heart pounding. I stayed still. She opened the lid, glanced over her shoulder, and slid something into her pocket. Then she smiled, like nothing happened. That night, I cried, not because of the stolen things, but because I trusted her, because I had called her my friend. Couldn't tell my daughter. She would have fired Clara immediately, maybe even called the police, but I wanted to teach her a lesson she'd never forget. So I made a plan. I called my lawyer, Mr. Haynes, a kind old man who had handled our family affairs for years. I told him, "I need your help setting a trap." He laughed. "You're full of surprises, Eve. What are you planning?" I smiled. Just a small test of honesty. Next morning, Clara came as usual, humming her favourite tune. I told her I'd be going through my jewellery box to decide what to donate. Her face froze for just a moment. Then she smiled. "That's so kind of you, Miss Evelyn." I nodded and said, "You've been such a blessing. Clara, I'd like to give you something special when I'm done." Her eyes widened slightly. "Me? Oh, you don't have to." But she couldn't hide the greed flickering behind that fake modesty. That afternoon, I carefully cleaned my jewellery box. I took out everything, except one small velvet pouch. Inside it, I placed a note that read, "To whoever takes this, know that not everything stolen is gold. Some things steal your soul." And then I put my tiny camera, hidden inside a clock, right in front of the dresser. The next day, I told Clara I was feeling dizzy and would rest. I turned off the light, pretended to sleep. A few minutes later, I heard the soft creak of the drawer. Through half-closed eyes, I saw her fingers slide into the jewellery box. She looked around. Then she took the velvet pouch and slipped it into her bag. My heart pounded. Not with fear, but satisfaction. When she left that evening, I smiled to myself. That night, I called Mr. Haynes and my daughter, Lucy. We gathered around my old laptop and watched the footage. Lucy's eyes widened. "Oh my God, Mom." She really did it. Mr. Haynes leaned back. "You've got her. What do you want to do now?" I said quietly, "Let's give her a chance to return it." Next morning, I was sitting on the porch when Clara arrived, smiling as always. "Good morning, Miss Evelyn. How are we feeling today?" I looked at her and said calmly, "Clara dear, I think I misplaced something again. Could you help me check the jewellery box?" Her smile faded a little. "Of course. Let's look together." I opened the box. Empty. Then I turned to her and asked softly, "Do you know where my velvet pouch went?" Her eyes darted away. "Velvet pouch? No, I don't think I've seen it." That's when Lucy stepped out from behind the door, phone in hand. "Maybe you should see this." "Clara." She pressed play. The video filled the room, Clara's hand opening the box, taking the pouch. Clara froze. Her face turned pale. "Miss Evelyn, I can explain," I interrupted gently. "No need. Just open the pouch." With trembling fingers, she reached inside, expecting jewellery, but instead, she pulled out the folded note. Her hands shook as she read it. "To whoever takes this, know that not everything stolen is gold. Some things steal your soul." Tears welled in her eyes. She fell to her knees. "I'm so sorry, Miss Evelyn. I needed money for my mother's medicine. I didn't mean—" I sighed softly. "You could have asked, Clara. I would have given you more than you needed. But you chose lies." Mr. Haynes stepped forward. "We could press charges. The video is evidence," Clara sobbed. "Please, don't ruin my life." I looked at Lucy. She was furious, but I placed a hand on her shoulder. "We won't, but she'll never work here again." As Clara packed her things, I felt no anger, just deep sadness, before she left. She turned to me. "Why did you leave that note?" I said quietly. "Because one day when you're tempted again, I want you to remember how it felt to open that box." She nodded, tears falling freely, and walked away. Weeks passed. My house felt empty again, but one morning, a letter arrived. The return address said Clara W. inside was a note. "Dear Miss Evelyn, you were right." I was lost. That day changed me. I found a job at a small clinic and started paying for my mother's medicine myself. Thank you for teaching me what honesty costs, and what it saves. And inside the envelope was my stolen watch, polished, clean, wrapped in tissue paper. I smiled and whispered to the air, "You did good, girl. You did good." Then I placed the watch back into the jewellery box. This time, I added a new note, forgiven but not forgotten. Months later, Lucy came to visit. "Mum, you still keep that jewellery box?" I laughed. "It's not about the jewels, honey. It's about the stories they carry," she smiled. "You're really something." "Mom," I winked. "Guess where you got it from?" When she left, I sat by the window with my tea. The sunlight hit the jewellery box just right, making it glimmer softly. Sometimes justice doesn't come with police or punishment. Sometimes it comes with a note in a velvet pouch, and a heart finally learning what honesty means. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to Echoes from Her, where every story reminds us that kindness can be strength, forgiveness can be power, and sometimes revenge can be poetic. Like, share, and let's keep telling stories that make the world feel again.